I know that the Wall Street institutions, the investment banks, look, the richest people in the world are hoarding gold. And I still believe that silver is the valued asset on the planet Earth. And I don't just pull this out of a hat. I look at the Dow gold ratio, at the gold silver ratio, and I try to discern where the bottom is. I just did a whole video about this. I just wrote a whole paper about how this should play out here. Where's the bottom in this market? We don't know. But I would say it's somewhere around the Dow. Looking at a Dow potential of hitting 8,000 when we melt down. And I believe we're going to get a 1-to-1 ratio gold to the Dow ratio, and that means, and in an extreme situation, we can get a 10-to-1 with regard to silver gold. So, that's just my take on it. I urge people to do their own research on this. All right, don't take anything I say. If it hits you the wrong way, do your own research. If what I say is hitting you the right way, and I think most people who follow our work get it.
The Minerals Council of Australia says the same monetary policies and investments expected to drive up the price of gold by 2030 will also push its poor cousin along. The MCA predicts silver prices will surge 27% because of increased demand for silver in consumer electronics and solar photovoltaic cell production. Gregory Mannarino, often dubbed the Robin Hood of Wall Street, is a prominent financial strategist. He emphasizes silver as the most undervalued asset, even more than gold, which he believes is hoarded by wealthy individuals and Wall Street institutions. With all macroeconomic factors in play, Gregory anticipates a potential market meltdown with a 1-to-1 gold-to-Dow ratio. He highlights the global influence of central banks, asserting that they are orchestrating the destruction of freedoms. If we look back 100 years to 1918, then the Dow-gold ratio was around 3. It took 3 ounces of gold to buy the Dow Jones index. Remember, if the ratio was 1-to-1, 1 ounce of gold would buy all the stocks in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So, if the Dow remained at today's number of around 41,563, gold would have to rise to $41,563 per ounce to result in a 1-to-1 ratio. According to him, the debt market is in the largest bubble in history and will continue to inflate, setting the stage for an inevitable disaster. Gregory sees the recent market drop as a buying opportunity, noting that stable U.S. 10-year yields and a falling dollar signaled a chance to increase his positions. U.S. debt is expected to top $56 trillion in the next decade. At the same time, the debt-to-GDP ratio is forecasted to surge, making it harder to pay off the national debt. Many experts are raising their gold price predictions even following a massive rally as the debt issue continues to drive demand. Now, we present the clips of Gregory Mannarino's insights from his recent interview. Before we continue to discuss this, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates.
I jumped all over this market, and everyone knows it. I'm on public record. On Monday, when we had the sell-off on Friday, we had the follow-through on Monday. I added aggressively to my positions, and they all rebounded. And I'm obviously I'm much richer now than I was then. Okay, this is a game that is being played. When I saw that happen, the first look, people are being distracted. Everyone's focused on this stock market. The stock market is a derivative, meaning it derives value from what's happening in the debt market. I watch the debt market. That's all I watch. The debt market is always right. This is an old adage going back as far as you want to go on Wall Street. Okay. The debt market is going to tell people what they need to do. The debt market right now, it's obviously it's the biggest bubble in the history of the world. It's being fueled even more. It's going to end in absolute disaster. But realizing when I watched the market falling off of a cliff those 2 days here, 2 things happened. One is I looked at what the U.S. 10-year yield was doing. Why the U.S. 10-year yield? It's the benchmark. It was doing nothing. It was actually coming down. And then I watched the dollar fall off the cliff. I said, this is a buying opportunity. This is a buying opportunity. So I told all my lions, everyone that follows my work, what I was doing. I don't suggest anyone does anything. I tell them what I'm doing, and if they feel like following me, that's fine. Okay, if not, that's fine too. Everyone told me I was going to be. So many people, Greg, you're wrong. Blah blah blah. This is the top. It's over. It's nowhere near the top because we got again massive currency devaluation coming at us, artificial interest rates, massively hyper-ballooning global debt, central banks destroying their currency by design, and central banks are betting against their own system. I want people to think about that right now. How many people really understand this and probably know what I'm about to say? And do your own research on this, people. 25% of the world's gold is hidden in vaults under Wall Street. That's a fact. Number 2, why are central banks collectively right now at a 5-year high with regard to their gold acquisition? They're betting against the same system they're forcing us to participate in. Another reason why you need to hold commodities. That was nothing here. I mean, oh, it's melting down. The yen carry trade is over. The market's going. It's a joke. What they do is they want to hype people up. They want to create fear. They want to paralyze people. You want to make people freeze up, you make them afraid of something. You want to control their minds, you make them afraid of something. There's no fear here. It's too simple. Understanding the dynamics that are in play really makes it easy for everyone who has even one functioning brain cell, maybe two, to understand what they need to do. And that's pretty much what I'm all about, is providing solutions to people by raising their awareness as to what's happening to them, period. I know that the Wall Street institutions, the investment banks, look, the richest people in the world are hoarding gold. And I still believe that silver is the most undervalued asset on the planet Earth. And I don't just pull this out of a hat. I look at the Dow gold ratio, I look at the gold silver ratio, and I try to discern where the bottom is. I just did a whole video about this. I just wrote a whole paper about how this should play out here. Where's the bottom in this market? We don't know. But I would say it's somewhere around the Dow. I'm looking at a Dow potential of hitting 8,000 when we melt down. And I believe we're going to get a 1-to-1 ratio gold to the Dow ratio, and that means, and in an extreme situation, we can get a 10-to-1 with regards to silver gold. So, that's just my take on it. I urge people to do their own research on this. All right, don't take anything I say. If it hits you the wrong way, do your own research. If what I say is hitting you the right way, and I think most people who follow our work get it. People know when they're being lied to or when they're being misled. Just it's too simple. Honestly, if you just realize what is going on here. We know who our enemy is, we know who our enemies are, and we know what they want out of us. They want control. They want to extort our freedoms and liberties out of us. This is not just an issue here in the United States. It's a worldwide phenomenon going on here, and it's central banks who run the entire show. Why is it? Does anybody find it surprising that central banks have their bases in every continent on the earth here? They're destroying us by design. It's the one world government we've been told about. This is not science fiction. They control it all. Everything else is just a show. And that's it. It's we got to focus on this, and we have to decide what we want. People are looking for so-called this leader or so-called that leader to lead them into some promised land. Ain't happening. Okay, people consistently have their faith in the wrong place, and unfortunately, it ends badly.
During the interview, Gregory Mannarino expressed his concerns about Bank of America's current situation. He predicts that Bank of America might be set up as a fall guy, much like Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns during the 2008 financial crisis. Mannarino believes that central banks intentionally deconstruct the system and will need a scapegoat, with Bank of America possibly fitting that role. Billionaire Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway Opens New Tab has sold some more shares of Bank of America and opened a new tab over the past few days, raking in $981.9 million. As the conglomerate continues to trim down its stake in the second-largest U.S. lender. Warren Buffett's historical backing of Bank of America signifies his confidence in the banking sector's resilience. However, the recent large-scale selling may indicate a shift in Berkshire Hathaway's strategy or a repositioning in response to broader economic factors. Due to this instability, Gregory advises pulling funds from smaller institutions and avoiding banks like Bank of America. The current financial system is unsustainable, and central banks are betting against it while promoting traditional currencies. Let's get back to the interview.
Bank of America has got problems, and I've been warning about this for years. I think literally for years, probably over the last two, where I said, if you look at the Wall Street banks, look, they got to set up a fall guy here. I believe this with all I got. They have the system. People need to have an entity to blame. What they're doing here, okay, obviously this deconstruction of the system, they need a scapegoat. It can't be that it's central banks that are bringing the world to their knees. You're not going to hear any presidential candidate talk about this. They can't point their finger at the Federal Reserve. It's a blame game. It's just the way it is. The Federal Reserve, these guys, they're on the side of angels. Okay, so they're helping us. They want to get us out of inflation, which they could have ended in a nanosecond if you want to talk about that. The real way they could have gotten rid of inflation, but it would never happen. But anyway, so with this whole thing with Bank of America, I believe that they're being set up as the fall guy for. There's going to be an event. They have to point to it, whether it's going to be another scamdemic. I believe something hideous. They're going to spring time that the face diapers and all that stuff. It wasn't enough. Didn't create enough fear. Imagine a disease process where there were marks on the body. I just poked myself in the eye. Where people would run to the doctor, in my opinion, and get that bioweapon pushed into themselves, and they because the fear. They make people afraid. People are going to run. That's what they want to do. They want to create control. Anyway, but besides that, so an event is going to occur, has to happen, whether it's going to be a disease process, multiple disease processes, maybe a war, expanding war. I have no idea. A combination of something where they're going to point to as the system comes down, so they can say, "Hey, listen, we got a solution for you." And of course, the central banks are going to be more than happy to say, "Hey, you know what? They already have a solution here." They're destroying their own system. They're betting against their own system by hoarding gold, central banks, but they want us to participate in it. They don't want you in gold. They don't want me in gold. No, no, no. They want you and me in the dollar or the euro or whatever central bank you're unfortunately forced to exist under at this particular time. But Bank of America, I think, is going to be the fall guy. They have to do this. They did it
Mm,
last time. They did the same thing during the meltdown of '08. It's a repeat
right,
performance. Lehman Brothers,
right.
Bear Stearns here. Now it appears to me it's going to be Bank of America. So he has to do this now. So we can say, hold on a minute. No, I didn't have any foreknowledge that this was being set up. I urge people, look at Bank of America's performance as to its peers. You'll see what I'm talking about here. This bank is underperforming. There's a reason for that. I think more people like Warren Buffett are going to be pulling their cash out of this institution. I say avoid it like the plague. Do what they do. These people like Warren Buffett, they have an insight that you and I don't. Let's be honest, right? You and I can sit here and speculate, and we can try to make sense of what's going on here. But this is what's happening, and it's just too clear to me. So, but the solutions are in our freaking face. We know what banks to avoid. First of all, people need to get their cash out of the smaller institutions. I've been telling people this since before it started. When the regional banks started having problems, I don't know, over a year ago, I was telling people these institutions have a problem. No loans, no deposits, no deals. Now, the big institutions have the same issue, including Bank of America here. But the big institutions have the main line to the Federal Reserve. What they're doing here as they deconstruct the system is consolidate power in fewer and fewer hands. Should make sense to people what I'm saying. So what we're going to see, and this is being hidden from the public, the banking system, first of all, it operates in a perpetual vacuum. It's absolutely insolvent. The entire financial system operates in a black hole which can never be filled. Henceforth, why? Every mechanism that you could think about, dream about, or even have a nightmare over is going to be utilized to pull cash into the now from the future. The debt-based system is a curse upon the world, run by the central banks, and we're forced to participate in it. Meanwhile, they're betting against it, these central banks themselves. It's kind of interesting.
Analysts predict silver's finite supply and low production, compared to demand, will continue to push up prices in the foreseeable future. Consider whether diversifying your portfolio with silver fits your financial situation, risk tolerance, and investment goals. How do you adjust your investment strategy to the anticipated changes in the silver and gold markets? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to support our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the next video.